This is Gladys Briggs here from Junction, and as you know, from time to time we like to give you something a little bit different, different from our everyday maths. We like to go into like a broader education topic and bring you some good information for your children's education or for your own personal education. So today what we're going to be talking about is how to find a good school for your child. In other parts of the world where they have like a good structure in place with when it comes to their education system, they use things like national test results, inspection results to check which schools are outperforming the others. But you and I know that in Nigeria this is not the case. Everybody's sort of doing their own thing. So you as a parent, you have to become a private detective, or you have to become an investigator. You have to find out what school is best for your child, which one is going to offer you more value, more educational value for your child than the other. So that's what we're going to help you do in this video. So the first and the most important one, if you ask me, based on the Nigerian system, is affordability. Can you afford the school fees? Can you afford the school trips that they will be going on in some of these schools? Yeah. Is the fees within your budget, and how do you deal with this affordability problem? I'm never one to encourage someone to live above their means. So what I would say is you need to come up with your own budget of how much you can pay for your child's school, pay for your child's education, and it has to be a reasonable amount. Your child, you have to weigh things and have a look at what you have and what the school is offering. So once you know how much you're willing to pay for your child's education, then you can look around for schools who are offering education within that range of money that you can afford. So yes, you can afford the school fees. Maybe you can afford 50,000 naira. Maybe you can afford 100,000 naira. Maybe you can afford 500,000 naira. Yes, and now you have found 5 schools within your budget who can give your child education within that budget. Right. What you need to check now is the environment within that school. What are you paying for? What type of environment is that school going to be offering your child? Is your child going to feel safe in that school? You need to walk around, have a school tour around the school and find out how safe that school is, how healthy, how clean. Those things are very important. Are the toilets being well maintained? You don't want to, the most important thing that as a human being we have to be worried about every day when we wake up is staying alive. And you want that for your child as well. You don't want them to go into a place where they go in and pick up something. So a healthy, safe, clean environment that nurtures learning. Okay, when you look around it, what sort of learning stuff do they have around it? What things can enrich your child, can enhance your child's learning? So the environment is very, very important. That's the one thing that you're going to be looking out for to compare these 5 schools that you want to send your child to. Okay, so the next thing that you need to be thinking about is the staff of that school. The staff of that school that you want to put your child, because as a parent you will constantly be collaborating with them on the education of your child, and you want your child to have a well-rounded education where they can engage with the adults that are around them as well. So are the staff of that school friendly? Are they approachable? Can you ring them if you have any concerns about your child? Can your child walk to them if they feel uncomfortable or if they have something to discuss with them? Are they dismissive? Do they have a closed door? Do they shut you out of the system completely? Are you just going to pay your money and then you will not be able to have any sort of information or feedback about your child's performance or about how your child is going on in school, and how much progress they want to provide your child, So that's something that is very, very important. The staff in the school, how are they? Now the next thing that you want to be looking out for is professionalism and professional development. You know, like, what are the standards that the school, what criteria does the school apply when they are looking for teachers? If it's like a secondary school, they should have a teacher that is qualified in that subject or something close to that subject. For example, if they are teaching maths, they should have like a foundation degree, a degree in a STEM, like a STEM subject, maths. They should have maths, or maybe physics, chemistry, anything that is related to maths, sort of. Yeah, that should be like the foundation thing, yeah, before they can come and start to teach your child maths. They need to know maths. I think in primary sometimes you can get away with anybody who has any like sort of a degree, but is can demonstrate that they can pass on knowledge. But I think in secondary you need to have a subject specific knowledge, because now you're beginning to take children closer to where they want to go professionally in the future. So how frequently do they have teachers training programs within that school? These are the things you need to find out. Is that school one of those schools that only the head teacher knows everything, all the secret about the school? She does not allow the teachers to grow. She does not teach them any new skills. She does not help. They do not have anybody that comes from time to time to train the teachers on how the new ways of it, the new things that are being done within the education department. Yeah, you need to know about professionalism, how the teachers are continuing their professional development within that school, so that your child can benefit. Because you don't want your child to be in a school where the teacher is stuck in the knowledge that they had 20 years ago. So this is something that is very important. It's a question that maybe you need to ask the school. When was the last time you had a teacher's training day, and what did you learn about? Now, the other thing that you want to be looking out for in a school for your child is holistic education. You know, holistic education. And by holistic, I mean that all aspects are being looked after in that school, so that your child can have a chance of reaching their full potential. You know, like maybe your child has some talent in music, but that school only focuses on academics. They don't look at maybe something to do with music that can nurture that child's musical talent. How about sports? You know, what kind of what do they do about sports to encourage those who maybe have running talents, or hockey, or any of those things that children may have inborn within them, that can lie within them and stay there as a potential that never comes to flourish eventually. You need to know what sort of like extracurricular activities, or what's the program when it comes to PE, sports, music, arts, drawing, illustration, all these different things that are not necessarily maths, English, and science. Yeah, you need to find out if the school is well rounded in so many other different aspects, including languages. Now, the other thing is we're talking about equality, diversity, inclusion, that type of thing. Yeah, you want a school that kind of gives everybody every child fair and equal opportunity. You know, you don't want your child to end up in a school where some children are more privileged, even within school. In the real world, some children or some people are more privileged than others. That's life. That's the reality. But you don't want to be paying for your child's education and then allowing your child be in a position where even within that system where you're paying for it, some children are more privileged than them. No, let them be judged based on what they can add to the class. Let them be judged based on the talents that they have, that they are bringing in. Let them be judged based on the things that the teachers can nurture and bring out of them, rather than how much their parents have, or what car brings them to school, or that type of thing that we have in our society. You should be looking out for things like that, because we're talking about the future. We're talking about the next generation Nigerians, and that next generation Nigerians should be the ones that are talking about championing equality. Everybody's the same. Let's fight for ourselves to be the same. Let's take this class thing that is killing us away from our system, get rid of it completely. So your child needs to have that built in them from that school. So you need to look out for that school, whether that school has, if it's a very highbrow school, I'll tell you what some of them do. Some of them give scholarship to children from poor backgrounds so that they can have that balance. You know, they give scholarships. Some of the really expensive school give opportunities to children from poor background so that they too can have a feel of, you know, and their own, the rich children can have a feel of what poor people are, and poor people can have a feel of rich people, and that can create that balance rather than it's only for the rich or it's only poor people's children. That's not very fair. Okay, so the final thing that I'm going to talk about, which is the one of the most important of them all, is learning, because school is about learning, really. Yeah. How are you going to be able to tell whether your child can learn in this school? You need to go and have a look, observation. You need to go and have a look at how learning takes place inside of that school. You know, sometimes we drop our children off 8 o'clock, we're off to work, and that child stays in that school for 7 hours. They come back home, you ask them, what have you done in school today? They can't give you an account because really they don't know what they've done in school. How can you tell if your child is going to be learning in that school? You need to walk around that school, you need to see which curriculum they are using, and you need to see what targets they are going to be setting for your children or for your child, and how you can tell that child has been able to mark to pass that target that has been set, and after that target, what's the next target for that child? You know, these are the things that you need to be looking out for if you want to get your child the good quality education that they deserve. I hope that we can all make it an effort when it comes to choosing a school for our child, which is not based on class or all this thing, but we should be looking out for true educators, people who are really passionate about giving children education. Yeah, I'm going to draw, this is where I'm going to cut it for this lesson or this video. Yeah, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.